Okie dokie. Now, am I on the right one? It says I'm on Active Minds Game Dev. That's what it says. This is the one I turned on. I think I'm on the right one now. So hopefully we're good now. I don't know what the heck. It's like it just ignored my toggle swap on the last one, so something went weird. Let's see here. I'm gonna go over here. And the reason it took me so long there is because I was multi-validating. Yeah, it says I'm live. Okay, so we're good. I was like checking and double checking and making sure everything was coming on. I wanted to make sure it was all functional. So I think, yeah, all right, cool. I'm glad to see that we're good. All right. Now, just think I would have totally been on the wrong channel all day long if you hadn't showed up, man. Because I would not have realized it. Because I would not have realized it when I just forgot to switch it, and then I would have thought I was good if you hadn't come back, because I would have again thought I fixed it the first time. So there's double shot messing up. So now I'm gonna have to confirm whenever I do the swap that it actually does the swap when it's supposed to. But anyway, so back to it. 3 things on the docket today. Try to set up my database connection. Try to get one example of special teams, a defense, and an offense all loaded up, which shouldn't be too hard because it's just adding an extra type of record. So that won't be too bad, I hope. And then getting them saved to memory. Because at that point, I'll have the ability to start saving to and from my database and actually getting real data and saving stuff outside of memory, because I want to be able to do it, obviously, outside of memory. Also, I would like to spend a little time, if at all possible, on getting some testing, some Go testing in place, so I can start having TDD, test-driven development, going. I want to start learning, or not learning. I know what test-driven development is and kind of the premise behind it, but I need to know learning how it's done in Go is basically what I need to do. So I've seen some of their stuff. I may have to do some mock things. It mentions using various mocks abilities. I'd have to learn the difference between those, what they are. You know, it's all about creating dummy data so you don't have to use the database for your testing. You know, that's well, I guess it depends too on what you're doing, because sometimes mock isn't just about database, it's about input, right? So sometimes you're mocking up what data you want to input into the application so that it can run the tests without you having to input data. So you have the mocked up dummy data. But I haven't actually done any mock or any kind of testing in Go before, except for I wrote one sample that somebody was showing me how to do, that one YouTube guys. But I do have to adjust that. I was just complaining that I don't like this camera. I mean, if I sit back, it's not so bad. You know, this is good. But if I lean forward, you get to see the top of my head, and it's weird. Some people actually put a gap in their monitors and stick it right in the middle, which works, I guess. But I don't know if I like a gap in my monitors. And then I was noticing that where it was sitting before was lower, but it's off to the side. So you're only seeing like the side of my head. I don't know. I mean, people obviously figure it out, right? They've got to. Not everybody has an ideal solution, but some people do. Let me try something. I have a mini tripod here. That's mini. That's too short. That's not going to work. So, were you ever a if you've ever been a SpongeBob fan, you might note that SpongeBob, he's pretty funny. I mean, he's pretty cool. Who doesn't like SpongeBob? If you don't like SpongeBob, then forget you. If you have kids, you've definitely probably seen SpongeBob, but SpongeBob did an episode where he was trying to get some work. He had to get something done, and of course, he procrastinated and was distracted, and just the clock just ticked away on him because he wasn't able to focus and get his stuff done. And sometimes I'm sometimes SpongeBob in that scenario. And it's like I tell myself, stop it, you gotta be focused, get on it. And so here I am, fiddle faddling with my camera, because sometimes you just, all right, my desk needs some TLC, man. No, I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to let it distract me. I get, what I call it, clutter sick. clutter, yeah, I don't know what the term is exactly, but I'll call it clutter sick. What that means is if I get too much around me, I can't, my brain just won't. It'll like, no, you need to stop and clean this mess up. So, but if I ignore it well enough. So the question is, if I put this here, will it annoy me? Will it be in my face? Probably. Oh, so the only option on this is... Oh. I don't think it knows to do that. Okay. There we go. I'm going to try to get this just enough. And now it's probably going to be too close. And that on itself will drive me crazy. It's better, but it's still it's still blocking my screen. Even though it's in between them, it's not really in between them. Yeah. ADHD, like you're just, yeah, that's basically the same problem. I don't think it's ADHD, but sometimes I have that. You know, it's just like I'm just scattered. I'm just gotta do something else. But the thing is, if I get caught up in my clutter, if my clutter becomes I won't be able to focus on what I'm doing. That's the problem. And then I'm really going to have problems. So. Well, let's see if that annoys me too much. It is still kind of in my screen, but not as bad. We'll put it over to the left where I don't use my other monitor on that side very much. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's see if I can deal with that. See, it's a little bit more at my eye level, so if I lean, I'm not so like top of head kind of scenario. I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful bald head, but really, I mean, who wants to stare at it all day long? I mean, really. what can I say? Back to it. Back to it again. I'll be saying that a lot today as I'm working. I'll be saying back to it because I often will be away from it. Anyway, all right, so mock external dependencies like databases or other microservices using GoMock or interfaces. Run tests. Use Docker for end-to-end tests. Yeah, I got to get my Docker set up. That's another thing I got to do during the course of this next couple of weeks. I have a lot of things planned. Thanks. I have a lot of things planned for this next 2 weeks because I have a first 2 months plan and strategy. Okay, so this is my developer roadmap that I've been working on. I'm trying to do them like quarterly, so I decided to round it off into January. So basically, I started this project at the beginning of November, the end of October. So I'll just say October 31st to December 31st, which is basically 2 months. And these are the things I've completed so far, and these are the things I want to get done. This is actually not Unity, but it's Unity setup. It's part of the install required development application. So Unity, Docker, I have a lot of things. Wait, these are just installed. Okay, they're not set up, which means they're not running yet. But I have all these things installed. They're ready to go. I don't know which one I'm using, this ngrok or Tailscale for public available testing. That's probably going to be at the end of the process because in order for me to do that, I need to get the whole thing set up. And I need to figure out, okay, well, I need to be able to deploy to GitHub and then deploy to a local pseudo production. I'll call it pseudo because it's not going to be production, obviously. But I need to have both set up. So that's where Docker is going to come in. It's going to create a container that's going to allow me to separate my dev work from my production work. So that's kind of what I want to do. Besides working today on the actual app, I need to spend a lot of time these next week and a half getting all this stuff set up. This is kind of my goal. This is all about setup and just getting things fully so I'm able to fully focus on the development of the application because we've got a lot of application to go here. This is my my next 3 months plan. It's pretty short, doesn't have a lot of things. These are what's on deck. They're pretty in-depth items. I mean, I gotta get my auth API plugged in, get my API service, which I may actually be rewriting my auth API. Didn't take me but a couple of weeks to get everything working in Blazor, so I'm hoping it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. Well, C#. It wasn't Blazor, it was just a web service. But I'm thinking I'm just going to rewrite it in Go. So I have to, of course, learn how you do that. But I'll be just another one of my web services here. And then I have to get it all plugged in and calling and getting my JWT and everything set up, my token. Then I have to get it plugged into the React app, which I don't think will be all that complex. I've already done that before, just calling the new API. I want to, at some point, I believe. See, I also have to get my CI/CD going for all of my development, so it starts going to the production UI. I got to start getting all my player skills and abilities imported from the project. So these are all the next month. I think it's not next month, next quarter. I think it'll be pretty, I won't say simple, but I think a lot of this stuff is well doable. This is all just basically a lot more fully functioning the dev's tech stack stuff going on. I'm still getting a lot of stuff plugged in, so I do want to create backer accounts, even though I don't have any backers yet. I'm hoping, keeping that open. Patreon, my Indiegogo, whatever, which right now, Indiegogo, by the way, if you're curious how well that's doing, it's not. But I don't care. That's all right. I'm going to just keep plugging away with that. Hopefully, I'll be able to eventually. The thing is, like I said, this is a very early stage project, and most people would look at it and go, yeah, who's this guy? He's not actually going to develop this thing. He just thinks he's going to do it. So, I gotta keep getting work done. But if I do it my next attempt, they'll see that I've made significant progress, and I hope significant progress in the next month or 2 months as things slowly keep moving forward. And then one of these days, people will go, maybe he's actually going to do this. And they might start backing. So I'm hoping I can at least start getting some followers, people who are interested in just tracking along and seeing what's happening. Now, keep in mind, again, I am at the mercy of financial situations. So obviously, if I get a job, which I am still looking, and I am looking all over for those kind of things, I will be, I will have to stop, or not stop, but significantly slow down the development process, which will be unfortunate. But if that's what the Lord wants for me, it's going to happen that way. If not, then maybe He'll drop a bag of money on my porch, and I'll be good for a few months. I was kind of hoping He'd drop a bag of money on me through the Indiegogo process. That didn't happen. So, and usually with those things, if you don't hit it in the first few days, you probably don't hit it, even if it is low, because that just means it's just not an interesting thing. I think if it was closer, or I had some cool marketing that could show what I had planned and what I was doing and how I could make it really like pop, it would look more serious. But that's, again, not my forte. A lot of the best, what do you call it, campaigns always have beautiful videos. they have impressive looking videos. And it's like, yeah, see, that's a thing that takes money or talent in that area. I think I have different kind of talent, but that's not my area. All right, so let's go ahead and go write this out. So we're going to have my game plan tests. Write unit tests. Unit tests focus on individual components or functions. Here's an example. Assume your microservice has a function, calculate score. All right, so let's do this. So I have to mock my gRPC server even though I've got it? Why wouldn't it just call it? Create a mock implementation of your gRPC service to handle requests during testing. Assume you have a game service with a create or update game plan method. See, that's kind of, it's like it remembers my previous conversations with it. Because I didn't mention any of what I'm doing today. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that it does that. Because all I did was ask about testing. I didn't put any, there's no history in here at all. I mean, yeah, previous conversations, but it must be remembering them. Because it mentioned game plans and such. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what I've been testing over the last few days. So it's like it remembered my last conversations. I think that's kind of cool. How do you know I'm not working on a new project, huh? Well, how do you know that? Who says I'm still working on that? I am, but I mean, you don't know that. Assume you have a game service with create update game plan method. Yeah, I'll assume that because I do have that exact game plan method. Mock game service.go. So we're going to do this, path to your proto. Okay. Type mock game service struct, unimplemented game server function, blah, blah, blah. Message, game plan created or updated. Set up the gateway server. Initialize the gRPC gateway server to handle requests during the test. Path to your proto, path to your gateway. Gateway test. Well, let's do that. I'm going to do this exact thing because I think this is kind of what I want. And this is testing the service itself. But I don't know why I couldn't just call like one of my regular tests. But I guess it's good to have a mock because if I'm working on those items, I don't want my gRPC test to fail because I'm working on the item in my game plan. Because the gRPC might be fine. It works fine, but if I break the item it's calling back, it's going to return an error. So it's probably good that it's mocked up. I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking there. And that's probably why it says to mock it, because you don't know if you're calling something that's valid. Long term, you probably would call the actual item. Maybe you have one that's both the mock and the actual call. So you can say, okay, well, the actual call's failing for one reason or another, but you can tell based on the fact that the mocked one worked that the problem probably isn't in the gateway call. It's in the game plan itself. Now I am, as you can see, I haven't actually used Copilot here. I guess I could start using Copilot here. I'm curious on that. Oops, wrong drink. Alright, say here. I'll call it gateway. Like I say, I'm thinking I'm going to do this exact same one. Let's see. Dialer. Initialize the gRPC service to handle requests during the test. Test gateway. If your actual gateway code, ensure ensure you initialize the MUX and register handlers. Gateway. Well. So okay, so in this is the test. I'm just going to copy this. It's probably not. It's not valid. It's not useful right now because it's not. But it's because it's probably not making good references. Path to my proto, which is actually here. Which is going to be. I wonder why it goes to your proto. TB. Path to your gateway. Could not import path. Yeah, I know, because that's not my path. So if I go, because these don't. I don't think these go to your proto. It's probably this one. And then path to your gateway, which is going to be, I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. Just getting my understanding down here. Okay, so path to my gateway, which is actually no required module provides package path. Oh, no kidding. I guess that's main.go. GitHub stretcher test. Oh yeah, tell me I have to install this stretcher. which I don't have. Setup, install GitHub. What is Stretcher? How to install. Hey, let's do it here. GitHub. How to install Stretcher. To install Stretcher Testify package, you can use the go get. All right. Insert into terminal. See, this is cool because it just puts it in there for you. Nice. And then this will download and install Stretcher Testify package, which includes the assert package you are using in your tests. Ha! That's cool. It's like it saw that I was using it and it says this includes the assert package you're using in your tests. Unless, of course, it's just assuming you're going to use assert, but that worked out pretty good. That's pretty smart. Okay. And my assert, just like that, it's all good. It's no longer a problem. All right. So path to your gateway. I'm easily impressed by AI sometimes. You know, it's like, oh, AI is kind of smart. There's like, you know, an intelligence to it. We're going to go ahead and go to, now I got to figure out my path to my gateway. I mean, this is my gateway. That's what's throwing me off. What do you mean path to my gateway? This is my gateway. Register game service server. And I believe I even have that. So that's probably what it's looking for. Register game service server. Is that in handler? Pretty sure I have that somewhere. Register routes. It's not mod, right? Nope. It used to be game service server, but it could be not because it might be guessing on the stuff. It doesn't really look at your last stuff. It just maybe referenced it. So you got update. Yeah. PB. Register game service server. Great. So we got, well, everything's working except make a request to the gateway. See this? Game ID 123. So I got to actually pass in my game plan. This is not supposed to be a post. Probably a get. Create or update. Oh, that's a create. Oh no, it would be a post for a get or update. And I have to test the post anyway because that's like the next thing I'm doing. So that'd be a good thing to have. But it's going to be a lot of. Where did my, okay, so we're going to go, let's see, let's ask Copilot what I need to do. Let's see if, I don't know if thing is, I'm wondering if this Copilot will be smart enough that I can ask it questions about my current setup without having to give it all my current setup. Because if it can do that, that's going to save me a ton of time versus going to the other AIs. Because the other AIs, I have to like, here's the code for this, and here's the code for that, and here's the code for this. Here's the question. And it'd be nice if this thing was just smart enough to go, hey, yeah, based on what you got here, I am trying to write a test for my gateway. But and that's cool. Then that could save me a lot of time, because it also a lot of copy and pasting junk, and then also it should just be able to reference my work. So that'll be kind of cool. So let's see if this works for me though. Trying to write a test for my gateway. But I am showing you errors. Well, I know this is the wrong PB. Register game service server. I don't think I have that file anymore. Yeah, see, that's not a thing anymore. I'm trying to think, what would I call here? Function dialer. Let's just see what it says. Whoa. Is it? What happened? Oh, it's thinking. All right. Wow. Okay. What the heck? Does it explain any of this, or does it just show you stuff? It's just like, okay, here's this. I'm like, okay, but is it done? Is there more coming? It just dropped in code. Got to read what it's doing here. Delete game plan, testing. Post. Yeah, but see, that's not, V1 is not a thing. I don't actually have that. See, this is not, oh, I think it's, it's not actually referencing my game plans. It's not referencing the game plan, what do you call it? Service. It's not, it's like, it's just building it off of what I have here, but it's not actually calling my game plan service. So it's like it's only working off the current info. Does this update take into account my actual game plan service? Yeah, why wouldn't you? I didn't realize it wasn't signed in. Oh, okay, so now it's looking at my stuff. Cursor witch? Yes. I can't, I don't want to pay money. I'm going to be maximum cheap until I start figuring out how to get some income. I gotta learn how to do this all on the free as much as possible. Cause yeah, until there's actual income, it's all going to be bare bones. Hold on just a moment. I got to go grab a snack because my stomach is making a lot of racket over here. So just give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. I threw in my threw in a breakfast burrito thing, but that's going to take 20 minutes. Cursor witch. I don't know what that is. It's not showing up on Google. I don't know what that is. It's a witch cursor, but it's a cursor that's the shape of a witch. Oh, never mind. I know. You said cursor, which is $20 a month. Cursor AI? Never even heard of that one. I assume that's what you're talking about. Oh yeah. Well, there you go. That's a good way to save money because we watch TV. I mean, I like to sit down and watch TV with my wife. I don't watch that much normally. I have like a million shows I've started, but I'm like 3 episodes into a season. Why cursor? What's different about this from all the other AIs? Huh. Oh, so it'll actually do the work. That feels dangerous. I don't like to let the code just change things. Because I've run into too many times where I tried to rewrite stuff. Stuff that shouldn't be rewritten because it makes mistakes. Is it pretty good at undoing? So if it writes it and you're like, oh, that didn't work, please remove those updates. Please undo that. You broke everything. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. AI is great if you understand code. If you understand the premise of what you're trying to accomplish and understand what makes code work and doesn't work. And I mean, you don't even necessarily have to know the language very well, but you have to have a good understanding of the whole architecture of things. And know that AI can help you get through it, but I think it's dangerous for new programmers who might not fully understand, like new people who are just like, they haven't been doing code for that long, so they don't know, they haven't learned the overall scope of things. I mean, it can help, but I think it's too easy to just accept what AI is telling you in that scenario. I don't know. I mean, I guess eventually everybody gets there, right? But I think it's better if you already understand a lot of that. Well, it's kind of cool, but isn't, I mean, Copilot does that too, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it might not make the change for you, I suppose, but Cursor lets you breeze through changes by predicting your next edit. Huh. Get answers from your code base or refer to files or docs. Use the model's code in one click. It all sounds good, man. But I'm afraid if I tried it, if it worked for me, I'd like it, and then I'd have to spend money on it, and then I don't have money to spend. So for now, let's just give Copilot a ride, and we'll see what it does. All right, so game test. Here is an updated version of the test that aligns with your actual game plan service setup. Package, game test. Test gateway, creator update game plan. Yeah, let's see what this does. All right, so we're gonna take this function. We'll try to use what it says instead of what I had. I do like that it looks through your other code. I think that's really kind of cool. So see, that doesn't work. See, I'm getting all kinds of errors. So GitHub, Tazion, PFFM, Gateway, Game Plan. Oh. And my test server.url is not v1 game plans. And that's still putting in dummy, because this is a post. I don't think I can create. Yeah, maybe because I don't have any required elements. I might be able to create one without the other. Yeah, I suppose. As long as I don't have any required elements, this should probably work. Game ID, test game. See, I don't even think that's a game plan. Let's see, what is my game plan? That's not. It's not a valid. My game plan. See, there's no description of my game plan. So it's not really using my game plan because the test URL. So it's not totally smart because the post is all bad. Test server URL plus v1 game plans, which is not actually a thing. Does not look right. Yeah, well, that's true too. That makes perfect sense. My URL is, I wrote it down for my own edification here. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is a post. So if I was to put my own thing in here, let's move this off screen because that's just blocking things up. Let's put this down here. We'll go back here, and instead of all that nonsense, we're just going to put in what I think is a not nonsense scenario. Let's do this. And the gateway's not right either. Gateway new mux. Also gateway dot new mux is shown as undefined. Though I wonder if my issue could be that I have like this isn't compiling and therefore it's not able to see this. It could be that I'm not compiling because of this guy. Not even sure what do I want my game plan to test exactly. What is my game plan going to test? It's got it. I don't think I have any actual functions in my game plan yet. So I need to maybe I'll take this out. I don't know what I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I mean, I am going to do something with it because I'm going to have a lot of stuff eventually in my app, but well, that's nice, man. You've been out of work as long as me. That's a bummer. Yeah, I mean, I've been out of work since the end of. I want to say the end of April. Yeah, the end of April. Was that May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December? Yeah, man. Me and you are in a head-to-head race. I don't want to. It's not a race you want to win. It's one of those races you'll be glad to lose, I'm sure. But it's one of those things. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure. And February. Oh, you've been out of work longer than me then. February. Yeah, that's like when you said over 8 months, you weren't kidding because that's like. Well, shoot, that's 10 months, right? You've only got January to go, depending on what time in February. Yikes. Oh, man, that's a bummer. I know. I think that's about the time that my son's been out of work. He's been out of work, too, that long. And his girlfriend that he's living with is also out of work. She's been out of work not as long as him, but they both had contracts. They were contractors. And they ended, so it's a bummer, man. It's tough to get work these days in the tech industry. There's just so much competition and there's just not enough jobs, which is weird because you would think, tech developers wouldn't be that common, but apparently we're getting pretty common these days, especially with so much overseas competition anymore. And that makes it even more difficult because here in the US, you're like, yep. And the bigger companies can take 4, 6, 8 weeks to even more sometimes to actually finish a hiring process. So even if you get into the process and you make it through, you're still looking at 2 to 3 months before you actually ever get hired. And getting through is not easy. I mean, they're slow and they filter through people, and it's just like, I mean, they might hire like 4 or 5 people, but 4 or 5 people when there's 50,000 people looking, it's not very many. It's not very many positions. And you go and look online, and you're like, you're competing against 300 people, because if you go to it via like LinkedIn, it'll say this many people have applied, and you're like, okay, that's nice. My chances are slim to none, because just rising to the top of the let's look at your resume pile is hard enough, much less having a resume that when they do look matches exactly what they want. What the heck is the deal with my water? Why is it not coming out? There we go. At some point. All right, so I gotta get my I gotta get this thing to reference correctly. Let's see what it thinks. What does it think about this import problem? Update the URL in the test to match your actual game plan endpoint. Fix the gateway.newmux undefined reference. Ensure the newmux function is correctly defined in your gateway package. Here's an updated version of the test, assuming your game plan endpoint is well, that's not my endpoint. My endpoint should be this. I probably don't need that. It's probably this. It's probably this piece though. Minus all this. Now, what is the problem with the top part? Make sure the new mux function is defined by your gateway package. Package, gateway. See, I don't think it is looking at my other files very much, unless you tell it to look at your other files. Because, where is it looking? Do I even have new mux as a thing? I don't think it's looking right. New mux. No, it's only in my. It's only in the gateway test. Make sure the new mux is defined in your gateway package. If it's not, you need to define it. Here's an example of how it might look. In my gateway package, do I have a package? Should be in my gateway. Gateway, what does it mean putting my gateway? It's not in my gateway. This is in main. I don't actually have a gateway package. I mean, package, I call it, that's just the default, but I don't actually have a gateway package. I'm not using gateway package anyway. Right. So learning how this Copilot works, it's kind of also tricky because it's like, okay, what information do I need to give you? Some things you seem to be capable of, some things maybe not so much. Oh, okay. So make sure to import the necessary packages and add your handlers to the mux in the new mux function. Then in your test file, you can import the main package and use the new mux function. So in my game, all right, let's go back to here. And again, it's not referencing it's not working for my imports, but we'll go here. And then I don't want to take that. Let's go ahead and take this. And then I don't think this does anything new. Background dialer, new server, service or close. Yeah, this doesn't do anything different. Okay, so that's fine. Is there? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, the GP4o is right here. Oh, it also has Claude. But that's just a preview. So I don't know what that means. But I'm only seeing 2 in mine. Send out workspace. Send a Copilot edits. Send a new chat. Send and dispatch. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of little things I'm going to have to work through here just to learn how this is doing. Chat editor. Explore new features. Send chat feedback. So I could put this new mux. Add your handler here, for example. Mux handler game plans. Reasoning for sure. There's definitely some things I like about Claude too, but like I said, I always have limited access. I'm wondering if this has limited access. If you're not paying for it. So I can add this func main. So if I just go here and define this. Add your handlers here, for example, mux.handlefunc. I have a handle func here. Yeah, I mean, I see it down here, but it says on mine, it just says it's in preview mode. And it's, I mean, I don't have trouble trying it. Maybe I will here in a minute. I got to finish this one task so I don't like get just have it swap over. Update the main function to use the new, and does the Copilot, again, it's cool that it can reference all your code. I just need to figure out how to make that do it without me having to tell it all the time, or how to do it simply. Extract the router setup into a new function, new mux, update the main function. Okay, so let's see what we're changing. It's not telling me what it's changing, so I'm gonna have to go over here and look. All right, so new mux. Oh, and then we have function main. Okay, so function main. See, then it put context background back in. Why did it put that in? I don't know if I want that. I'm afraid of adding, see, it's changing stuff. So I got, see, that makes me nervous because I already have game plan service address up here, but for some reason it's like changing it here. I don't know why it does that. I don't like it when it refactors my stuff. That bugs me. It's like, it's right there. Why are you rewriting it down here? And then it doesn't even put it in. Not only does it refactor it, it doesn't put it in. It just says, do this. It's like it ignored the fact that my main has that value already defined right up here. So that's kind of a distraction to me. Oh, well, maybe it's doing that on purpose. Because do I use HTTP? Is it using those values up here somehow? It's like HTTP header address and game plan service address. See, there is a game plan server address here. Oh, maybe that's why. That might be why. It's probably because it needs to. I mean, I still think if it's going to refactor, it should plug them in here. It's going to take the values. Obviously, they're set already. It should have at least put them in because you're like, oh, okay, I'll just do it that way. And then, oh, wait, you broke it. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is valid probably because it uses the game plan service address up here. And I don't know, does it use HTTP header too? HTTP address header? Well, I'm not seeing that, but I mean, the fact that it's pulling it out, but then it doesn't actually do it on your thing, which is kind of unnerving. And then I'm a little worried about this, to be honest, because it's just changing a lot of stuff. And anytime because this works, by the way, this works. I can call in fact, you can see down here on my app, I've already loaded this once by calling this very same code, and I don't want this to suddenly stop working. It's like, no, don't break my stuff. You're changing it. Ah. All right. Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to see what it does. I'm just going to have to do some serious undoing if it blows things up. Because, like, I'm using, like, Mux new router. It totally is pulling it out. Oh, it must be is it turning around and calling it? Oh, okay, so it is. It's turning around and calling it and using it here. So this way, when the test comes up and calls new mux, it doesn't have to call main. But then when main does it, it'll actually use these values instead of the fake ones to call this back. Well, there's nothing wrong with sticking this in. This I have no problem with because that's new. It only applies to what it's calling. But I need to take these guys out now. And take that one out. And put them down here. Okay, so that should work on that. And then it does have new client, I think. See? Yeah, this makes me nervous. It's changing a lot of stuff here. I don't like the way, I mean, like, where is the gRPC new client call with in transport credentials? Well, it just totally rewrote that. And it got rid of my listen and surf. I mean, it basically just dumped everything. Yeah, I can't. I'm not willing to make this risk. I don't. It's. I mean, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but I feel like it's totally rewriting everything to the point where it's not the same task, because it's like it's not even. Is it even using a connection? Status method not allowed. Status game plan service. No, I get it. No, I'm not. I don't think you're trying to mess up my project. I'm all right with that. I think it's cool, but I'm a little worried because it just seems so evasive, you know? I mean, anytime you write, you have, I'm just trying to write tests for it, but I feel like if it's going to totally mangle my code, is it going to function anymore after that? It's like, ah! Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my breakfast burrito. Let's see what Claude says. You know, we'll try the Claude option. Let's switch over. And then, I mean, it's a preview. I don't know what that means, but we're going to try something here. Project. I'm just going to tell it. Take a look at my project. I am trying to write a gateway test call to my what did you say? Use the @ sign at game plan service. Oops. This gateway works as is. However, and I want to implement the test with as little alteration to my working code as possible. You gotta reference your code to the file. I think it's @ sign. Add the button where it says add file. Right. Oh, well, can't you just... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about just putting them all in there. Oh, okay. I thought it was like type it in. So it's not really able to look at your apps then. I mean, you have to tell it what to look at. So you're still doing it. You're just not copy pasting. Oh, I see. But there's my workspace. Oh, it is general. It isn't file specific. Oh. Interesting. Okay. But before I do that, I'm going to take this out because I'm not convinced that this is the solution I want. But it might tell me. Maybe. I want to see if Mux has a different solution. Did I say Mux? I meant Claude. Well, this is brand new, so I could copy and paste as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not working with anything new. It does seem simplified, but I'm still getting game plan is still not referencing correctly though. Import GitHub com is a program, not an importable package. Hmm. Test game plan. Somehow I didn't get the whole thing there. Actually, is there even a whole thing there? It stopped. That function's not complete. Yeah, exactly. If it's new and the code doesn't have any reference. Yeah. But Claude stopped. Stopped in mid-answer. Like it stops right here at defer. There's like the end of the function's not even there. It doesn't even close it off. Well, actually, you know what? It's still is it still processing? Because it still shows it's running. I think it locked up. Yeah, that's if you're all right with the challenge of getting into tech. Oh. Yeah. I mean, software is fun to develop and stuff, but it's just getting really hard to find work. I think there was a time when it was a lot easier, that's for sure. I do notice that you lose your history. Oh, no, it doesn't. It just pushed it off. Never mind. Well, not necessarily. A lot of them are like that. But it's or experience. So for me, it was challenge. I mean, I got in. I mean, I didn't get a degree, but I was doing it at a time when it was easier. People actually hired you because you could prove that you could do the job. They don't do that anymore. You have to do all kinds of other stuff. Simply having proven track record isn't enough anymore. You have to either be able to have a degree, have lots of years of experience, or if you do get lucky enough to test, I mean to interview, you got to pass through all their Okay, so here we go. Well, I did put these two in. So we got copy. We will finish this. All right, so finished those. Nothing looks errored, which is good, although I am getting oh wow, that's a bummer, man. And getting in with Amazon is one of those companies that's hard to get in with too. I mean, you had a foot in the door. That's a bummer to lose that. Let's see. By matching the actual handle creation from main.go. That would be good. Do that. Use the one that I already have. Oh, okay. Well, I could do that. Maybe, if you want to make it easy. do what already works. Oh, all right. I mean, that's an option. All right, so this is a func test router. Let's go here and copy this guy up. Func test router. Func setup test router. A little bit longer. And then what did it say? Something about imports? Now it says, oh yeah, and we'll ensure the imports match the main package. But yeah, do you see any imports here? Okay, so this thing is buggy. It tells you it's doing stuff and kind of sort of doesn't do it. And gRPC dial is still deprecated. All right, let's see if this one works. It still says, oh. All right. Well, it still uses dial, which is interesting. Keep trying to see if it can write this so that it stops erring or showing stuff that shouldn't be in there. All right, so what are my import problems? See, these should be fine. Why am I not? Why are my references not working to my game plan and gateway? I'm gonna go at work. So I'm just gonna keep typing in at workspace at the beginning, so it keeps looking at everything, because I don't want it to keep. I don't have to keep telling it. But oh, it's probably the only one. The other one is not using gateway, so I probably don't need that. Which is interesting. I don't know why it's not using gateway, but. All right. Game plan package service.go. First, create a separate package directory in your game plan service. All right. So if I go to my service.go, what is it changing? Okay, so we have get game plan. Service struct, game plan store, new service, service store. Get game plan by user ID. Create game plan. All right, so that's probably true. Create or update game plan. It does definitely doesn't create game plan doesn't exist. So I apparently am not even using that. So I can make a change here. Game plan store. We have common API context and define game plan store. What do you mean? Doesn't exist. Game plan store is right here. New store, game plan store. Undefined game plan store. All right, so we're breaking stuff. It's making me nervous. Things are breaking. What the heck is? There is supposed to be a game plan store. Is that? Did I just break it? Is it something I took out of there? Aha. Okay, why are you changing my game plan stuff to break stuff? I broke a lot of stuff by putting that in there. Gateway test.go, but several things reference game plan store and the game plan service. And the change renaming it to game plan service breaks all those references. One of the things AI does do that kind of, oh, well, yeah, but I mean, you have when you're an employee of a company, you always have a foot in the door versus, doesn't matter where you are in the company, versus somebody from the outside. So they're more likely to give somebody in the company a chance than they are going to give somebody outside the company a chance. Short of them, the outside company people just getting through all the hoops. There's fewer hoops for somebody inside the company. You know, there is one major thing with AI, which kind of bugs me a lot of times too, and then Claude is actually pretty big on this. It oftentimes will give you just the changes and doesn't always tell you these are just the changes. GPT will do it sometimes, but it'll have like comments in there. They'll say, with all your existing code here, and then these are all the new items. You know, I mean, you have the new stuff, but it says put your existing code here or leave everything else here or whatever. Whereas sometimes Claude will just say, these are the changes. Oh, I didn't mean for you to override everything. I just wanted you to change these items. And I'm like, yeah, that's key. Maintain compatibility. We do not want to break stuff. That is very important. So Claude is leaving me with a lot of, at least it's a complete thing here. All right, let's go back over to my game plan test, gateway test. Yeah, I'm going to put the at workspace in on like all my questions. That seems to be giving me more thought out answers that are more applicable. Gotta reply to the wife, man. She don't like it when I ignore her texts. So it's one of those things. It can be, yeah. And that's why I thought it'd be cool if it could just reference all my stuff. But it's working on it. Okay, so. But like right now, I keep coming up with this. It keeps trying to put in like new handler, new router. But saying, all right, what are we missing here? Because I'm still having like this new service. New service is undefined, like all of those things. All right, so I could take this out just because. I do like that all the imports worked now. That's nice. But we have two issues here. Okay, so we get two issues. Both new service see, that's weird. Why is gRPC handler? Because I know that one's a valid thing. So how come is it because I'm missing something in my, like, it's forgot an import? I think it's probably missing an import on that one. I'm pretty sure I have gRPC handler somewhere else. gRPC handler. Huh. Could have swore I had that somewhere. Huh. Guess not. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna keep saying at workspace. It's just gonna be my. It's just gonna be my thing. Yeah, I'm starting to realize that. I mean, sometimes it knows what you're talking about, but yeah, it does tend to make bad, what do you call it? Bad assumptions sometimes. And I assume he's not going to undo or break its own stuff. It's like, oh, those are the only problems? Well, then here, let me rewrite everything. Try it again. And then so it fixed those problems, but a bunch of other problems happen. And you're like, okay. See, undefined gateway.new handler is still showing up bad. Undefined new mock store. Undefined mock game plan store. So if it's setting up a mock somewhere, where's that logic? Oh, here we go. You'll also need to ensure your handler in the gateway package exports its methods properly. HTTP handler go. Okay, let's go look at my HTTP handler go. All right, handler, game plan service client, handler, add handler client. It is different because I have a lowercase h. I'm a little, and register routes. Those are all the same. Well, my HTTP underscore handler dot go shows a match. However, your code shows handler with a capital H and mine uses lowercase. Will changing the case break my code? It's like, will your solution break things? Because if so, we probably don't want to do that. Oh, oh, that's right. I forgot about that. See, that's the thing. I'm definitely not a Go expert, but I remember reading that a capital letter changes its scope, and that's part of why things don't always work, because you got to change their scopes. Okay, so I get it, but it doesn't change the functionality; it just changes the scope. So unless it could break things if you go from public to private, but usually when you go from private to public, it doesn't usually break it because you're just widening the scope. But yeah. So these two are just changing the struct and widening the scope so that it can be used. So that makes sense. And then this one needs to go to capital H because that's what we're using now. This one probably needs to change also because why wouldn't it? But I think that's it. Okay. And that could be why some of those other ones previously weren't working, because it might have been that they were the wrong syntax. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we'll go Control S. Then we're going to go back over here. Import get on game plan is a program, not an importable package. All right, so what do we got? All of the mocks that it's giving me are broken. Every one of the mocks, I still have a lot of issues here. Let's see if you'll also need to ensure your handler in the gateway. All right, so we did that. I changed that. But I changed this, and I'm still getting errors. Still reference, and it goes and creates new ones. See, it's like it fixes one thing but breaks more. Mock game plan store. Store, mock game plan store. Undefined. Oh, wow. Is that the only one? Maybe it's just all mock game plan store. No, mock new store. What else we got here? I've done that too. Or you know what I'll do a lot of times? I change AIs, and a lot of times the other AIs can answer the question. Like just go to ChatGPT proper or Claude proper or whatever, and just give them a chance, or even Copilot. You'd be surprised that they just hit it from a different direction and go, oh, I'll do this way, and you're like, bam, it works. Doesn't always do that, but a lot of times that's an option too. Fixing it. So it's like it rewrites everything, right? It goes in here and says, oh, let's fix that. So here's the total rewrite. And then it's like those things don't have errors anymore, but then what it gives you is a whole new set of errors. It's like, dude. And we're going to copy this. Again, I'm just trying to see if it can get this test thing so I could, you know, I don't even know what to tell it's wrong a lot of times because I don't. See, look, it did it again. There's new handler with an error. And we're back to dial context. It's like we're just going around in circles. It's like a lot of this stuff works now. But not everything. It's like everything's good, and then we get down here and we got dial context is bad and new handler is undefined. It's just 2 items now. We're down to only 2 problems. All right, let's go see what this HTTP handler go. And it says, make sure your HTTP handler go has the correct method names and signatures. Okay. Got handler struct, game plan service client, PB, game plan. Okay, so we're good there. And we got new handler, client, PB, game plan service client, handler, return at handler client. Perfect. Register routes, func, H, handler, capital H, router, mux router. Wait, what? Oh, no, that's right. Switched the wrong line. Mux.router. And then we have router.handlefunc, bloody, handle game plan, capital H, little h, handle game plan. Yep, so far so good. And methods, get. Okay, so that matched. Everything matches now, except the fact this still has a problem. Yo, I just figured out something. You need to do tests if you're trying to write tests. Well, yeah. that's I probably just misread what you're trying to say. But what are you trying to do? Yeah, I'm trying to write unit tests. And yeah, I got to write tests. That's what I'm doing. Right now, the premise of this test is to test my gateway so that I don't have to keep testing my gateway. Because, you know, right now I can just run my gateway and run my own test. But like, if I start developing other things, start working on my game plan or my API or my playbook, my players, and they're all doing things, I don't want to always have to, run my gateways or run my tests. I want to be able to have a unit test that's just going to go, oh, let's validate that, you didn't break anything while you were changing those services. So that's kind of what I want. I just need to have something in place to make sure that, hey, my gateway is still good to go. Oh, you mean like have a folder that says tests? Well, you don't have to. It's like, let's. But really, what you need is a file that's tests. But I'm pretty sure you don't need a. Yeah, I have Discord. I don't have it open, but I do have it. Somewhere. Where is it? It's supposed to. I thought it was on my thing here. Oh, come on. Why does my thing do this? Why does Windows blank out like this every now and then where it just doesn't show anything? And the thing is, you can still type in, it'll still search, but it just doesn't load the page anymore. So I got all my history, so if you say anything, I'm going to be able to remember. I'm going to be able to record it. It'll be one of those, I didn't say that, and I'll be going, yeah, well, let's go check the history, shall we? Well, let's go back to the video. All the people saying hi. Hi, everybody. You know what I should do here is, I don't know. I'll put it in both places. You should just be able to go. There's a link to it. Isn't there a link under my window that you could just click? It has a link for everybody to join. Should be right underneath my picture. Oh, but maybe it's not on my new channel. I thought I had it there. But yeah, let's see here. It should be underneath it. Yeah. If you go there, you should be. It should take you right to my channel. Is that you, Weebay? Like eBay? Oh, it's not Weebay. It's eBay. Should my tests be in a subfolder? Tests, or is a per service service underscore test.go file? Yep, see, there we go. Ah, see, okay, that makes sense. So we're both right. So using a test folder structure is like if I'm testing the entire project, which makes sense. Like I'm doing some end-to-end. I need to call this to call that, and I'm just going to have a bunch of stuff that's going to do all of my stuff. However, if you're only testing within the service, a test.go file is probably enough. It also probably has a lot to do with the complexity of your tests, process. And what in the command is tests? What command? What? I'm not even trying to run any tests right now. I'm just trying to get my thing to compile so that I can run tests. I'm not trying to run the tests yet. I'm just setting them up. Oh, you're talking about like this thing? Like a / tests? But I'm not sure. Oh, or like, yeah. Oh, workspace tests. I don't know what that does though. What is that going to do? I mean, I get it. I just don't know what it's going to do. Oh, so it'll just generate its own, it'll set it up. Interesting. Well, right now it hasn't proven to me that it knows how to set up a test. I'm trying to get tests set up, but every test I've gotten so far is broken. I'm not about to let it just create tests for me that are all messed up. Whoa! Generate unit test for a selected code. Yeah, but see, I'm trying to write a unit test, and it doesn't seem to be able to get it right. So I'm a little worried about telling it to do that. It's like, if it doesn't work, if it can't write one test, how's it going to write a bunch of tests? Purpose, a fix for the problems in the selected code. Propose a scaffold code for a new file or project in the workspace. Create a new Jupyter notebook. Propose a fix for the failing test. Generate query parameters for workspace search. Visible source code in the active editor. The current selection in the active editor. The current selection. Terminal last command. Terminal selection. File. Choose a file in the workspace. Huh. Well, that's a good reference, man. I should probably, yeah, I'll definitely use that. That's cool. That'll, now I'm not totally sure how I even reference pins later, but I guess, oh, maybe I can click on that and it'll filter it. Oh, there we go. Huh. All right. So there you go, man. You earned a pin. you got me to pin my, pin something. All right, let's pull that off the screen, though. I don't need that up there. I'll put it down here in my off-screen reference stuff. All right, so this testing is holding me up, man, because apparently these AIs don't know how to write a gRPC test, or they all think they do, but every time I'm just going around in circles with these guys. Look, I'm having the same dial context thing now. It seems to be unable to figure this out. The problem is, and Claude is notorious for this problem, Claude doesn't know how to just fix the issue. Claude's like, oh, we have that one little problem. Let's rewrite the entire code and try again. And then, of course, it returns a new problem. And it's like, Claude has just always been like that. It likes to rewrite code. It doesn't just change what you want to change. And a lot of times, if it's doing something, it like changes its whole paradigm. So it's like you can't just take the piece that fixes it, because everything else it did relies on that piece that it fixed. So it's like you can't just take pieces. You almost have to tell Claude, look, I want to fix this, but just fix that line. You don't need to fix everything. Just stay on task, man. Let's not keep rewriting this. And that's the thing. Well, for now, I got to see if I can get one test to at least compile. And I don't even know if it's going to work, because right now I've got things that aren't compiling. I don't know what's been broken. What else do we have? when it works. When it works. I will say Claude has gotten me a lot of good answers. I mean, it has solved a lot of good problems before. I mean, all of them have answered questions on occasionally. I mean, it's not a unfortunately it's not a perfect science yet. Hopefully it didn't totally rewrite again. Test game plan. I think dial is deprecated too. I'm going to put dial in, and dial is also deprecated. I think I should have just told it what it said here. All right, what else? You'll also need to update your HTTP handler Go. Export handler and its methods. All right, well, let's go over to HTTP handler. I gotta see what it's changing. This is one that I'm always worried about. Got handler struct, PB service client, game plan service client. Okay. Got new handler client, PB plan service client, handler, return at handler client. Okay. H at handler, router mux.router, router handle func. All right, what am I missing? Because it does not look like it changed anything. PB game plan service client. Also, I don't see. I don't see what the change is. Route handler, blah 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 blah. Handle game, get game plan methods, get and HTTP underscore handler dot go. You know, it's funny. It tells you sometimes, it says, and make sure this is the case. And then I go look and it looks like it's the case. And I'm like, if that's not a problem, why are you even mentioning it? Look at the code. Don't say, oh, and make sure this. It's like, well, I just told you to look at what the fix. Tell me what the problem is. Don't tell me to go make sure. Because then I'm going to see all the code it's giving me. And I'm like, I'm going to go line by line trying to see what it changed. And it's like, there's no change here. Just wanted to make sure you made sure. It's like, that's why I gave you all the code. Why are you pointing something out to me that's not a thing? I don't want to be comparing identical code. What do you mean both issues? The second one was just a question. Tell me what the change was, man. Then update main.go. Main.go? Wait a minute. Why would I change main.go? Look. My main.go works. And dial is deprecated. The error is dial is deprecated. Use new client. I don't want to rewrite my main.go if it is going to break already functional code. It could be, yeah, you know, but I think new client isn't that old. I mean, well, you know, I got help from the AIs to write this. They gave, I mean, I didn't write this all by myself. Well, okay, I did get some help from YouTube, but I don't remember which items I wrote from YouTube and which items came from AI. So it is possible that maybe AI doesn't know what I'm talking about. But I'm going around in circles. So maybe I need to stop worrying about this. I think I'm just going to recompile, make it work again, and step back and go work on something else for now. See, this is the problem with unit testing. This has caused me problems on many occasions where I say, okay, I'm going to go spend some time trying to get unit testing working. And I can't get it working because it's like there's no, man, I spent probably a full 2 days trying to get unit testing working in Visual Studio when I was trying to get my React app going. And remember, and keep in mind, all my code worked before I tried to get unit testing going. So all I did was install the packages and stuff necessary to do React testing. And I forgot what it's called. It's called like Jinx or something like that. It's a testing framework for React. And it broke everything. Nothing would work. I could not. Yeah, I could run a test. The test would work, but my code wouldn't run. It's like it would go through and go, okay, yeah, you know, your code's good, and then I go run my code, it wouldn't work. It would crap out because it was trying to use a different form of node or something. I can't remember. It's been a couple months now, and so it wouldn't work with the I don't know, with the framework or the build framework that was being used to run it. So they conflicted. So I had to figure out how to get rid of one to put the other one in, and I was like, this is just breaking all my code. I just uninstalled it, and bam, all my stuff worked again. And I don't want to go down a road that's going to keep rewriting all my code. Then nothing works. It's like, AI, you broke everything. Now what? And I'm not going to rewrite this to use a deprecated thing. I mean, that's kind of silly. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to exit and just go do something else for a while. I'm going to go work on my game plan, start getting the push and pulls going. I mean, I'll come back to this. I'll revisit, but yeah, I don't know. I got to get all my stuff back to compile-y state. I think I've had this open. I don't think I've closed it, so I could probably just go back. Yeah, especially when you already have it working, right? I mean, what I should have done too is checked in all of my stuff from before, because I don't know what state of being things, you know. Because now, found packages, gateway test go, and main HTTP go, and PFFM gateway. Okay, what's your point? Found gateway. I'll probably have to build this. Oops. Pretty sure this ain't gonna work. Oh, it is running. Okay. Gateway. What do I say? Go. This might not work. Oh, probably because I have packages gateway test and HTTP handler go. HTTP handler go. This is gateway test. I wish you could just disable a file. You know, like, I don't want to delete it. I just don't want it to break anything right now. Well, you know what? This doesn't work. Let's get rid of it. I don't need it. It just doesn't work. I'm throwing it out because it's just causing me consternation. I'm going to throw out all my test stuff because I haven't accomplished anything with it. It's just been a waste of my time. Hey, look, everything compiles again. Just get rid of that and everything works. Yay, me. Nothing. You know the solution for test problems? Get rid of the tests. Hey, no, Ken, that's not the answer. I don't know. Seems to be working for me. Are you sure? I haven't I don't know if I rebuilt my my common stuff here. Okay, I did, and it did run. All right, so I got to get my common to build though. Why is my, let's see, npm run build? I don't even think that's a, oops, that's not a thing. Never mind. npm build this. Ah, no, that's what I thought. It's not really a run, but what's wrong with my common here? What's the problem? Get a stretcher test is not used in this module. Oh. Well, okay, let's take it out. Just for now. Get everybody back to a happy camper state. And let's go ahead and go to my gateway again. I gotta rerun everything just so I make sure everything works. Go run. Yes. And game plan. Is that already running? No. I mean, it might be running, but it shouldn't be. Code build. And then we're going to say go run. We're up and ready. Oh, goody. Ah, we're ugly. Okay, so now it can, and the thing is, when you're learning code, you kind of have to like me in this case, not learning code is the general practice of coding, but learning code like I never worked with Go before. It's hard to if the application can't tell you how to do it, if you can't figure out how to do it, you got to go to other sources like Google or YouTube or documentation, and even then it's going to take a lot more time to build into it, to work into it, because you're going to be trying to find specific things and trying to word your Google. Now Google is the opposite of AI, as we all know. If you want to find something, you need to find the minimal amount of words that you could possibly say it in and try to get it as much information into as few words as possible. Because if it's too many, Google will give you, you get a bunch of garbage stuff and you'll have to find it. You have to dig through it all. If you get the right, small, very to the point, you might get what you want quickly. So Google searches are way different from AI inquiries. But trying to find, and then finding, examples in YouTube of exactly what you're trying to do, I'm telling you, man, that is some challenge right there. And that's why I kind of sometimes I'll just default to AI these days, because you're already at least on topic. Everything you ask it is at least in the general vicinity of what you're trying to accomplish. Now, granted, don't ask the right question, whatever, it may not answer what you're saying, but at least you're both talking about the same thing generally. Yeah, I know. There's a documentation. I'm a little stubborn sometimes with it. I get that. It's a downfall of mine. I will look at documentation. Well, a lot of times you go on Google, that's what you get. You get documentation. But all right, so I need to do a post here, so we got to go over to my common. Actually, it's not even common. It just needs to be just this. Oops. ID down distance. Okay, something didn't trigger because my game situation off spec. Off defense spec team did not come up. What did I miss? Oh, did it not? So we got a game set. It's right there. And store doesn't have any of that reference. Service. No. Me, no. Handler, no. Is it under the proto? Got it there. Game situation. But I did make, so let's go look if it's here. Oops. Huh. Well, I thought I made. Huh. I believe, what is the command? Off def. I did not do it. All right, let's go back here. Go to common. It's still not there? Huh. My V files. And common. Make gen does not seem to be implementing. a new field. Okay, so we gotta say, first clean the generated files. Okay. Oh yeah, I can do this. Bash delete command not found. That doesn't work. I'm in the right place. You know what I could do? I could just go like this. And then try it again. All right, they're there now. Okay, so I should have this field. This guy should exist in here. But it's not. Why is that not showing up? Well, maybe I'm wrong about that stuff having to be in there. Maybe it doesn't put all that in. Let's see. Let's go min left half. Min left. Hey, look, there it is. It is supposed to be here, but it's not. Oh, what did I do wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? Yeah? What is it supposed to be numbered? Well, I kind of sort of did that. Am I not in the right? Oh, maybe I need to be in the root to do this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we dealt with that. Clean the generated files first. Run the make gen command. Oh, maybe that's what. See the comment? Nope, that's what I did before. Also, make sure your make file has the correct protalk command. Well, what the heck would it be? No, I'm sure my make file is fine because I've used it many times. Make sure you have the latest protalk gen. Yeah, I have that too. That is definitely not the issue. I could look at this though. Let's see. Protalk, go out, go opt path source relative, go grpc out, blah, 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 relative. Yeah, okay, we're all good there. So we're just going to go here, then we go cd common and cd make gen again. Oh, not cd. Not again, because that's not the thing I'm supposed to do. Okay, make gen. Okay, so then I go back to here. Still not showing it. All right, why doesn't it want to add my field? Find, verify, Protalk, and plugin versions. They're the same versions. I know, I've already done that. Clean generated files. Well, we're already in common, so I don't need to do CD. Add verbose output to make file. Run generations, make gen. Okay, so it's almost a good time to take a break, I think. I mean, I don't have this working, but I don't know why this is doing this. And like you say, I need to clear my mind for a few. So I'll probably be back between 12:30 and 1 while I get a couple of quick things done around here. And hey, man, it's good. You'll be a good person to pick your brain when I start working on my Android part of this app, which probably won't be for a couple months if you're still around. But I'm going to take a quick break, probably 30 to 40 minutes, maybe 45. But I'll be back before 1, no matter what. Till then, take it easy.